So I let you guys know that we're going to be doing some landscaping here. So as mentioned, I am going to walk you through kind of what some of the tips are that you want to do when landscaping here with Sabals. I am currently in process. I got rid of all the mulch back here, put down a landscape fabric, as you can see. So that's number one. Put down the fabric that's going to keep all your weeds at bay. The other thing I would say is, especially wherever you are, what your zone is. I mean, obviously for everybody out there who's in Florida, it's a little bit different. But for us in North Texas, we want to landscape with stuff that's never going to die through our coldest of winters. So what I did was I have a beautiful Brazoriensis here. And this thing is never going to die, uncovered here behind the pool. And I actually lined the rest of this wall with a bunch of Sabal minors. So I got one here, have one here, and one here, and then a Birmingham at the end. So I'm going to take care of the fabric on the back here, go and take care of all that back there, do all this in fabric. And then the next video you guys are going to see is I'm going to show you after I put down a couple yards of Oklahoma Aztec rock. So we're going to rock this entire thing and be done by the end of today to get some rain tomorrow. So tune in, and I am going to show you what this looks like when it's completely finished. It's going to be all sabled out, and it's going to be all rocked together. It's going to look nice. So next thing you're going to see is what it looks like after we are done. Okay, everybody, so here, after a little bit of work, little leg work, here's the final product. So I asked, did you think we would do mulch or rock? We definitely decided to do an Oklahoma Aztec. I've done mulch in the past, tired of having to come out here and remulch constantly over and over and over again. And rock is nice. Rock will get hot in the summertime and burn away all the weeds and stuff like that. But so I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out. It's going to keep hopefully all the grass. We got tons of fabric all over the front, the back, all over the place. Hopefully this will keep all the weeds out, the grass out, our zoysia from actually encroaching in here. But I really like the way this came out. I like the color contrast with the Oklahoma Aztec and our waterfall. And as I mentioned earlier, right, so some of the tips that I would say when you're looking to do Sabals and palms especially, go with something that's never going to die here. So what I did back over here, I don't ever want to dig in this tiny little area right behind our pool. So what I did was I did a McCurtain minor over here, a Warren, Arkansas minor over here, a Texas Chapel Hill minor over here, Chapel Hill minor over here, and then a Birmingham over on the end, which is now about a 6 gallon or so at this point. And then I did a Brazoriensis over here, which this thing is, I can't wait to show this thing off in about a year or two. This thing is going to be absolutely incredible next to this pool. This thing is beautiful. So we did things that aren't going to die. I did things that hopefully should never make a mess. With some seeds at some point, maybe we'll get a little bit of a mess, but I'm not too worried about that. I can always chop off the seed stalks on the minors. I'll keep the Brazoriensis and the Birmingham. But other than that, I would pretty happy with the way this turned out. I'll do some updates as these get older. This year we should start to see these things pop over the waterfall. We can see one popping over the waterfall, one popping over the waterfall just a little bit. The ones behind the waterfall still a little too small, and our Birmingham over here is looking pretty nice because it's going to be in a primo spot. The same thing with our Brazoriensis. Now the other thing too, one of the reasons I recommend Sabal minors or maybe even a Brazoriensis or a Birmingham is, some people will plant their windmills and trachycarpuses and other stuff that gets super, super tall. And I tell people who come to purchase our Sabals is, think in the future. I mean, you might not think 2, 3, or 5 years out, but if you got a tall palm that's 10, 15, 20 feet, you're looking at a toothpick. And I would much rather look at a Birmingham, which after 20 feet is 10, 15 feet tall, rather than Trachycarpus, which ours over here is going to get pretty big. This thing is 2-3 years old. It's already It's 2-3 years actually from being a 15-gallon, I believe. This thing's going to put on some size this year. Got another one back over here as well, behind all the pool stuff. But those are going to get big, and I don't want to sit at a thin little trunk that's up in the sky. I want to look at something like a miner, which is going to be 6x6, 5x5 or so. Just a big wall of palmy fronds. So thanks for joining us. This is what we did here today. Oh, and I should probably also walk you through a little bit of this over here. So we carried this rock over to this little island, or this planting area as well. So we have a Birmingham, a miner back in the front, and then our Trachycarpus right here. This thing got through 2021 without ever being trunk cut. You can see where it was at 2021 right here and where it is now. So this is 2 years of growth. I hope to get some seeds off of this thing at some point. This is pretty decent genetics to be able to live through 2021 and continue to keep going. But we did like these rocks. We did it over here. And again, I cannot go and neglect probably my number one palm out in this area, but our riverside as well. Our riverside looks really pretty sweet out here. It's growing super, super happily. And I really like the look of this one and how this is going to be. So stay tuned as this thing grows, but happy with the rocks, happy with the way this turned out, and I'll make sure to do some updates. So hope this is helpful, and hope this helps some people out there who are thinking about what to do around their pool area. I would do rocks. Don't bother with the mulch because you're going to be doing it every year. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Thanks, everybody, and I hope this is able to benefit somebody out there. Thanks.